Hello, and welcome to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast, wherever you may be getting your podcast from, SoundCloud.com, Google Play Podcast, Spotify, and now on YouTube. Guys, we got a loaded show for you all, so let's go ahead and get started with biggest news in Falcons free agency, and that is defensive end Adrian Clayborn is coming back to the Atlanta Falcons for a 1-year, $4 million contract. He was recently signed with the Patriots and was released during free agency, and the Falcons we need more of an aggressive defense, and Adrian Clayborn is that person. So going into the stats right here, free agent defensive end Adrian Clayborn is, of course, headed back to the familiar territory of the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons signed Clayborn to a 1-year contract. The team announced Tuesday, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pellesso, Clayborn's deal is worth up to $4 million. ESPN first reported the signing. Clayborn, who turns 31 July 6, spent 3 seasons with the Falcons from 2015 to 2017 before signing with the New England Patriots in 2018. He entered the league in 2011 as the first-round pick with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons had a need on the defensive line, and recently hosted Tyler Davison for a free agent visit. On his career, the 6'3", 280-pound Clayborn has appeared in 95 games with 41 stats, totaling 32.5 sacks and 90 quarterback hits. He recorded a career high of 9.5 sacks and 17 quarterback hits in a single season while with the Falcons in 2017. With Adrian Clayborn coming back to the Falcons, like I said, he is definitely one of those great defensive players that can be nasty and at the same time do it without making the penalties a huge thing, because a lot of defensive players, they can be nasty, but at the same time they will give you more flags than anything else. But Clayborn has that balance of more of an edgier, nastier style, but without giving the team a penalty, and I do like that about Clayborn. His most quarterback hits was on Dak Prescott in 2017, and of course, everybody shows that meme now with I think it's with the black dude sweating really heavy, and it says Dak Prescott watching this deal happen with Adrian Clayborn. I was like, yep, this is it right here. But no, the Falcons are definitely making huge moves now, and this is honestly, both signings with all the guards and the tight ends from Tennessee and the Jets and all that, that's great for our offensive line and everything else like that. And with Clayborn being added to this defense, the Falcons can spend a lot more cap space within the draft with offensive linemen and defensive players. Me personally, I think what needs to happen, you need to spend your first 2 picks, if I was the Falcons, number 1 on Ed Oliver, which will be the 14th overall pick if he's still available. And the Falcons could possibly trade up to, say, the number 8 spot with the Detroit Lions to get Ed Oliver. And I hope and pray to God, and this could work too in the 14th overall pick. But if it ain't Ed Oliver, it needs to be DeAndre Baker from Georgia. Why? Because DeAndre Baker is that elite cornerback that can get you interceptions, that can break up plays with that and make fumbles or incompletes happen. And he does it so well that, it's almost like every play from Georgia from whenever I saw his tape, I was like, dang, this dude is just monstrous. He has that high football IQ that the Falcons need. So regardless of whoever it is, it needs to be Ed Oliver or DeAndre Baker from Georgia. But going back to Clayborn, with his kind of play style, and let's just say with the drafts of DeAndre Baker, That would be an elite combo, because then it's almost like on every kind of single. I mean, I know you can't have like quarterback sacks on every single play, unless, like you're the Jets or the Browns or whatever else like that. But you are more likely to have those, either QB sack or an interception, thanks to DeAndre Baker. And then you have also, of course, Ricardo Allen, Takk McKinley, Desmond Trufant. I mean, elite defensive players. So this year is going to be a great year for the Falcons, going forward with the draft and free agency. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if we have at least a double-digit win season. But later in the show, I do want to get to a certain subject that I do want to talk about. But next up, guys, we got the CWL London event coming up very soon. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it is May 5th. I'm checking my calendar right now. Actually, that's the end of it, actually, right there. So it actually will start May 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. And we have our pools available. Got Pool A with 100 Thieves, Optic Gaming, Enigma 6, NT Recessity. Pool B is Gen G, Splice, Luminosity, and Denial Esports. C is E United, Red Reserve, Team Envy, and Evil Genius. Pool D is Midnight Esports, Heretics, UYU, and Accelerate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grade all these, and then I'm going to give my reason why I'm going to be grading these. So Pool A, I will give Pool A B+ in this situation, because 100 Thieves has been a great team. They have figured out everything that they need to go forth with this Pro League Division matchups and head into CWL London. I think they got a great opportunity to make a showcase to the finals. Optic Gaming, on the other hand, has definitely improved themselves more worthy. I forget who it was, but one of the players has switched to the battery with the War Machine, and ever since then, Optic Gaming has been unstoppable. Yes, they lost to the 100 Thieves, and that will actually be the first matchup of the Pool A division is 100 Thieves versus Optic Gaming, and the rematch of the cross-division matchups. Enigma 6, I feel like they should have been at least in Pool C, because they weren't that great in this series matchup. Team Recessity, or Recessity, I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. I do apologize. But Team Recessity, they're like that average team. You win some, you lose some, back and forth. And Pool A, to me, does seem like it's going to be a heavy Optic and 100 Thieves pool area, while Enigma 6 and Recessity is going to be kind of like just struggling to even make a loser's bracket final. So Pool A, I give it a grade of B. Pool B, Gen G, Splice, Luminosity, and Denial Esports, I give Pool B at least an A. And here's why. Because Gen G, Splice, and Luminosity are these three teams that are going to be really kind of almost tiebreakers in the situation. They're doing very well in the Pro League Division matchups, and Denial Esports just is not clicking on all cylinders. Yes, they had a great run in the Fort Worth tournaments, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they got to eliminate that Saturday on the round 3 matchups. But Pool B, I give it a grade of A, because this is going to be a very heavy division right here, and it's going to mostly be tied throughout the series until that Saturday round 3 matchups. Pool C, E United, Red Reserve, Team Envy, and Evil Genius. I'm going to give this one a B-. And here's why I give it a B-, because Team Envy, not clicking on all cylinders. Yes, they were sort of clicking at that first kind of series of going back to the cross-division matchups. But then towards the end, they won one and then they lost a lot more. It's just, Team Envy is just still probably hung over on the World War II world championships, and they still really have not converted over to this new playstyle, which is Black Ops 4. Red Reserve is still pretty good. I would put them as a heavy favorite as being your Pool C champions in this certain situation. E United, not really that great. Yes, they are having some very great matchups. I can't wait to see what the entire bracket is going to look like on the first day of CWL London. And Evil Genius, of course, they won Fort Worth. But I think with this event right here, they're going to be more in a kind of like a high phase where they're like still coming off high off that Fort Worth win, and they're going to forget, hey, we need to compete at this event, let's, get it. They're probably going to go into the losers bracket and make it all the way up to the semifinals and lose to whoever may ever be in it. I would say probably Denial Esports would be in the losers semifinals, just going up against Evil Genius, with Denial winning over them. And finally, Pool D is Midnight Esports, Hertix, UYU, and Accelerate Gaming. Midnight Esports is definitely doing great, better than what I thought they were. Now, they did not have a great cross-division matchup, which, it is sort of surprising and it's sort of not surprising. I mean, they're great overall, regardless. But for Pool D, this is the death pool that everybody calls it. So Midnight Esports, definitely, I think it's going to be the heavy favorites. Hertix is going to come in second place with that. UIU and Accelerate, they're going to struggle, and I think they're going to go into the loser's bracket and lose within the first round or two. But for the Pool D section in general, I'm going to give the death pool a D+. A D+ in the situation because of what I just said. Midnight Esports is really the only heavy favorites going into the Pool D category, while the others are just going to be struggling to even get a win in this event. So again, Pool A is a B, Pool B is a Pool C, if I'm not mistaken, I think I just said a B-, and then Pool D a D+. Alright guys, so now, next up, and this is actually my final subject of the day, and this is not on my computer screen or nothing else like that, but it was a topic that me and my friend were discussing, and I asked him, I was like, who do you think is going to win the divisions in the NFL this year, just breaking down the categories. He's like, I do like your enthusiasm, but you can't really judge it right now just based off of anything right now. you cannot judge it because the draft has not even happened. Free agency is still going on pretty much. Yes, free agency has slowed down a tremendous amount, but free agency is still sort of going on, and it won't end until, what was the league standards in it, like October 7th, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember keeping up with it all of last year's season, and then free agency was pretty much done and over with. I think it was in October. I think like October 15th or something like that. But anyway, so it is too early to call these NFL seasons because you can't just say, hey, the Falcons are going to win this season because this and this and this. No, like I said, free agency is not over with, and the draft has not even happened. You don't even have guaranteed people who are coming back or anything else like that because, number one, we got Grady Jarrett, and two, Julio Jones. And for that matter of reasons, me personally, I think Julio Jones is going to be more the heavy favorite going into this of who we're going to keep, which honestly, I'm going to be very happy about. But with Grady Jarrett, I'm a little scared because I'm just so afraid he's not going to show up to the voluntary OTAs for the Falcons, and this is going to be one of those situations like, oh, okay, well, they haven't really worked out a situation, what's Grady Jarrett going to do? Is he going to still participate, or is he going to not show up like a Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown and, hold out until he gets his money? So guys, anyways, that is all the time I have for today. I sure hope you did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button on both SoundCloud, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Till then, guys, Morgan. Catch you all later.